Entrepreneurs, get ready. Get ready. Turn this up. Welcome to the Impact Over Everything podcast with Beez and Van. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Well, I should say, welcome to us back. That's what I should say. But it's another episode of Impact Over Everything podcast where we challenge everything.
We stand for something, so we don't fall for anything.
Yes, sir. Yo, man, bruh. Listen, first of all, we want to apologize to everybody. You know, we want to make sure that we're consistent. That's our pledge. But, you know, sometimes things come up when you are a busy entrepreneur. We have to keep shifting. We have to make things happen. And we're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of what's happened over the last 3 weeks that we have not dropped an episode. But now that's going to give y'all a special episode because this is just like freestyle. There's no specific topic for this one. We just talking. Me and Van catching up, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, this is going to be the catch-up episode of Beez and Van catching up on life.
Yeah. So what's good, bro? What you been up to, man? How's everything?
Man, I've been going through a lot of growing pains, a lot of trials and tribulations in my new business that I just started, specifically my exotic luxury and sport rent-a-car company that I've recently launched here in Vegas, and I got a crazy story for you, my man. I know I told you a little bit about it, but I'm gonna go heavy into this. But before I go into this, I do want to say that the reason why we're apologizing, and a lot of times people just, you know, they don't show up and they come back like nothing ever happened. Listen, we committed to our audience. We committed to the people that's rocking with us. We committed to be giving you guys the sauce every week and bringing you into our worlds. And honestly, we dropped the ball. You know, we was busy. Yes, things going on, but guess what? Them first 5 episodes we dropped, we was busy then too. Yeah. So we weren't less busy, but so ain't no excuses. We rocking with you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. For the people that, you know, felt that, you know, we fell off. Hey, we back, and ain't no excuses going forward. We gonna show up to blow up. So I just wanted to get that out there real quick.
Well, before you get into your story, then, I mean, you know, COVID is one excuse. I mean, if there's an excuse that we can have.
Yeah.
Your boy was sick, bro.
You was sick.
So, you know, that was one of many things that happened that, like Ben said, you know, we committed to y'all, so we're going to make it happen. But, you know, the best of us get sidetracked sometimes. Things hold us back for a little bit, but they don't hold us back forever. So,
definitely. All right. So now we got the apologies all the way out the way. Bro, let me tell you about this thing right here. All right. So entrepreneurship, man, it's about going through ups and downs, going to be able to navigate tough water. So last week I had my first hiccup, my first challenge, my first incident in the car rental game. Big incident. You know, there's always stuff pretty much every other day. There's something, but the biggest thing possible that could have happened to me happened, right? So I have partners, or I would say not partners, but I have brokers that broker sometimes deals. You know, they have clients coming into town. They say, hey, my clients need some cars. You know, they know my policy, you know, deposits, credit cards on file, insurance, things of those natures. But I got caught slipping. So I'm 5 minutes about to hop on a flight to DC, literally about to go on the plane. I get a call. Hey, man, I got Bobby Schmurda and his entourage coming into town, man. I want to take care of them, man. They're here. They want to get some cars. And I'm like, bro, I'm about to hop on a flight. You know, take care of it. You know what we do, what the requirements are. Just take care of it. He's like, well, we want to give him a discount. You know, he's going to give us a shout out. He's going, you know, whatever the case may be. And I'm going to be honest. I don't know if shows how old I am or whatever, but I didn't even know who Bobby was. I'm like, Bobby, who, what? Right. Who is that? Right. So anyway, long story short, I give him the green light, right? Give him a discount. He was going to get some special treatment for quote unquote being, you know, a star or whatever the case, or famous or whatever the case. So I get on the flight. I'm like, all right, cool. Right. So I land, right. This is a It's about a 6-hour flight, right? So I land, and as soon as I land, I got people sending me pictures. These guys are on the hood of the car. They're standing on the cars, and these ain't no Ford Fusions. McLaren, 720S, that's a $400,000 car. Urus's $300,000 cars, i8s, $150,000 cars, AMG GTs, $200,000 cars, right? So they standing on the hoods, whatever the case, sitting, they got the entourage in the car. So I already red flag, right? So I called the guy that brokered the deal. I'm like, hey, you grab deposits and stuff, right? He like, oh man, I know the road manager. I know, it's good. They good. I'm like, bro, they standing on the cars. Like, what's going on, right? So it was already a red flag. So I said, listen, just handle it, right? So, because I got my mastermind the next day, I got to focus. I'm like, just make sure my cars come back right, because they were supposed to return the next day, right? So Saturday comes along, I get another call while I'm at the mastermind. Hey, they want to extend another day. Like, all right. They want to extend, huh? I'm like, okay. What's the price point, right? So it's close to the full price point. So I'm like, all right, just make sure the cars is good, bro. We'll do it, but just make sure the cars is good. And on top of that, I have other clients coming into town Sunday, so I definitely need the cars back Sunday. Like, I can't extend them again. I have already pre-reservations for the following day. So he's like, all right, cool. Sunday, I get more pictures. I get more things, people sending me, and I could just see that they're just treating the cars like, any old cars. And even regular cars, you don't do the things that they were doing with these cars. I don't care what kind of cars. You just show respect for people's stuff, right? So I called a road manager. From there, I took the broker out of I was like, all right, you're done, right? And on top of that, before I get into that, they weren't tagging the page. They weren't doing the things necessary that they said they was going to do for promotion, right? To get that discount in the first day. So I hit the road manager and said, hey, listen, I need my cars back on Sunday. I don't know what happened or what's going on. My cars are being not properly handled on social media. I need all my cars back on Sunday, every single one of them. So he's like, all right, I'm going to call them. They're doing a photo shoot or video shoot, but I'm going to call them and make sure, right? So I land 11 o'clock on Sunday. My cars is not, no one has my cars, right? Trackers now, we got trackers on the cars. So now the trackers are showing, mind you, I'm in Vegas. The trackers are showing that the cars are on their way to LA.
Damn, bro. LA mileage?
Yes.
Man.
Again, McLaren, Urus, i8s, AMG GTs, like, cars that only get 100 miles a day.
Yeah.
For the rentals, right? So LA from Vegas is 350 miles one way. So round trip, that's 700 miles. Plus whatever running around they was going to do. So, you're talking about $1,000 1,000-mile trip per vehicle. All right. So at $10 a mile over times 700, do the math on that, right? That's $7,000 per vehicle, right? Times 5 vehicles, that's $35,000, right? So in overage, right? Before any damage, right? So plot thickens. I didn't want to shut the cars off there, 2 a.m. and where they was at. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give these guys an opportunity to bring the cars back. So they bring the cars back on Monday, or we meet them Monday. And when I tell you that the cars are trashed, I'm talking about, backwood, paper on the floors, soda bottles, to-go containers of food, minor damage on the vehicles. Some have major. I'm not going to go into that specific detail for different reasons, but basically they trashed the cars. So this guy, Bobby Shmurda, I'm thinking like, okay, this guy's he's supposed to be quote unquote a star, making money. He's supposed to be a millionaire, quote unquote. They trying to get out of paying the tag. They try to get out of paying the bill, right? The bill at this point with mileage over and the details and things of those natures, we're talking about a $40,000 bill at this point.
Trying to get overpaying the mileage or paying anything?
Overpaying the miles, the extended days that they had the vehicles, the damage, all of that, right? So he wanted to go back to a street mentality, right? And that's when I want to go to this next point. So now we want to get hood, right? We want to talk about streets. We want to talk about, you know, how it works in the streets when someone does a deal and the other person is not present and things like that, right? Because I wasn't present when the deal happened. He's like, you know, I wasn't told this. I wasn't told that. Now you're coming in telling us we should have did this. I'm like, listen, it's common sense that you don't treat people's cars like this.
Yeah.
It's common sense that you don't leave Vegas to go to LA in someone's cars. Exotic cars on the freeway. That's a 300-mile stretch of freeway. You don't take these type of vehicles on those type of trips, just from the rocks and the stuff that's going to hit the vehicles in the front that mess up the front, you know, of the cars and things of those natures. But then how food, weed, ashes, it doesn't make sense, right? So long story short, they didn't want to take responsibility, right? They wanted to put it off, you know, so it got heated. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it got heated. We was in the valet of a hotel. I'm not gonna say the specific hotel, but we was in the valet of a hotel with 10 people, African-American males with millions of dollars worth of cars in the valet arguing and basically about this. It could have went a really bad direction very quickly, which it was going in that direction. So I said, you know what? I had to take a step back and say, you know what? This is my fault. Because at the end of the day, right? Someone has to take the blame. And when you tell yourself that you are the blame for everything that happens in your life, so that means you can fix anything. So what I had to do was take a step back and say, you know what? It's my fault. I could have said no. I could have said, hey, make sure to have X, Y, Z in place. Make sure you have this. If not, don't rent to them. I could have said that, but I said, you know what, go ahead. I also said, you know what, go ahead, extend them another day. So I had to look at myself, no matter how mad I was in the moment, which I was heated, right? I didn't even cool out till yesterday, right? I had to say, you know what, this is my fault. And this is the growing pains of starting a new business, Ronald, right? So I have examples of people like you. You've told me about certain things to do, not do. You gave me game. We have other people that's in our network that's doing, you know, very well in the rental car game. But we've all have stories, and this was my story. And luckily it happened early on of who not to do business with, not to bend your rules for anyone, not even friends, not even family, because when things happen and go wrong, that's when it really hits the fan, because things went wrong here. So that was one of my experiences, man. It was just a wake up for me, and it was a learning lesson, and I'm able to move forward now. But yeah, man, it was crazy, bro. And they definitely still haven't paid that bill. So, you know, I don't want to give this dude free promotion, but man, anybody dealing with a dude, Bobby Shmurda and his entourage, I wouldn't rent any cars to them. I wouldn't do business with them. They haven't been stand up. Yeah, man, that's my take on that. But yeah, man, I had my first incident, man. My first big incident, man. I'm officially integrated into the fraternity of the exotic rental car game.
Oh man. So for me, you know, same thing. You know, we got the warehouse, all these exotics, everything. I didn't have a situation like this so early on, right? Mm-hmm. Now I did have like one or two quick things. It was like, damn, okay. But then spring break. Spring break hit. I was so excited. I was like, yo, spring break coming. We jack up the prices. You know, everything will be rented. Everything was great. And all of them came back. It was like, you know, fortunately, I got all of the stuff paid for. And, you know, as a savvy entrepreneur, we also have to figure out ways to, you know, kind of benefit from the negative situation, right? Yeah. I won't even get into all of those ways that we were able to do that, but you know, you already know. Yeah. So, you know, for me, it wasn't as bad as this, but I love what you said, bro. You know, in the end, personal accountability. That's the first thing. We gotta, as a people, as a community, we gotta be like, yo, it's my fault. I'm gonna take this L, because that L is a lesson. It's not a loss. And now I'm gonna keep it moving, right? So that's the most important part of that story for me, right? And I think that's an example that everybody needs to understand and hear and try to emulate as well.
Yeah, nah, man, it was definitely a lesson. But it also let me know too, as well, is that all money ain't good money, which we know this as entrepreneurs, right? All money is not good money, but sometimes it's hard at the moment when you're faced with that decision to take on something that could bring you income, could possibly give your brand some recognition. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to make that decision at the moment and really analyze, okay, what could be the downfall of taking on this client? What could be, you know, what's the upside? And me in the moment of really being green, really of not understanding who this person was and what they were about, and then taking the word of someone else that doesn't have the invested interest the same way in my company, right? You have to have people around you that are invested in the success of your brand and invested in the success of your future, because that's when people can make decisions that's only going to benefit them. Exactly. Right. Exactly. And if you have those type of people in your network and those type of people in your circle that make decisions based off of how it's going to benefit them first and doesn't look at the bigger picture of your brand and your family and just your well-being, that's when things like this happen. And that's what happened to me. So now that person that was able to make that decision or did make that decision has to be removed from the inner circle, any type of close proximity of what we have going on, because ultimately they made the decision. Yeah, I definitely signed off on it and I'm taking full responsibility. But from there, you still got to look and say, okay, why was this decision made? If from the eye test, we're looking at what's going on and saying, yeah, this might not add up right here. So
I tell you that's a big thing that we've learned, in the business over here, as well as my team has recognized when a situation don't look right. Right. It's like, you said that you were the one renting it, but that person over there is the one whose insurance, it's under their insurance. Are they driving? Like, what's going on? Like, some different little things that happen, right? And my team will literally, sometimes they'll call me and be like, what do you think about the situation? To be honest, I tell them, if you're calling me, then you already know the answer. That means you suspect something, and I'm gonna be like, yo, don't do it. And then we'll say, they'll say something like, oh, unfortunately, when we were driving it over here for you, the wheel was shaking and we can't rent it out again because, you know what I'm saying? We kind of just try to ease out of the situation quickly. But the ironic thing, bro, this is a weird part. Bobby Shmurda, and I didn't recognize the name either. I guess that's my age also. But he was performing in Rolling Loud, which is over here in Miami, right? And that was like the weekend, I guess, before going to Vegas, right? And well, the week before going to Vegas. And while he was here, I gotten the same call about some artists that wanted to, rent cars. And I was like, nah, it's okay. Because I knew it was Rolling Loud, right? Then there was a guy that, regular customer who rented one of our Benzes and got into an accident, right? But the police report, everything showed it wasn't his fault. The other person hit him. Both of them were coming from Rolling Loud. Both of them were, the other one, I want to say both of them were drinking, right? I mean, everybody was at Rolling Loud. And the one that hit him was, drunk, whatever. When he brought the car back in, he was like, since it wasn't his fault and everything, and he's still paying for the full rental, can he also, on top of that, just rent another car? And my team asked, like, well, it wasn't his fault. The other guy hit him. He still paid for the full car rental for that car, but he wants to, on top of it, because he doesn't have another car now, can he rent this other one? I was like, nah, I don't think so. Because obviously he's here for Rolling Loud. He's here for a good time. He's going to put himself in situations that may not be beneficial for my car. So I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be able to recognize those things. And, like you said, we even if we foregoing some immediate revenue, we keep in the long-term revenue because the vehicle is still going to be on the market. It ain't going to be off while it's being fixed or anything like that. So yeah, we definitely got to all in whatever business we're in, we got to try to learn to recognize those signs that, that helps us to make those decisions, sometimes those hard decisions.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, man. Another thing which I think we've both been real busy is just, man, giving a lot of time into our community, man, and speaking engagements, man. I know you've been on the road. I know you had a real big speaking engagement that you just did, and I think we had highlighted this in a few episodes back of when you put something into the universe, things just start happening for you. So just talk about that last speaking engagement that you just had that I think came about by us going hard on the content and putting it out. And
Exactly, bro. Somebody asked me that. I don't remember who it was. Somebody asked me that just yesterday. And they said, do you think that this happened because you were putting yourself out there more? It was Grizzy. Grizzy asked me this. Do you think that this happened because you were putting yourself out there more, or just because of the connections in your fraternity? I was like, bro, I am not even active in my fraternity. Since college, I haven't even been active in it because I've been, I've just been focused on other things, grinding, family, whatever. I haven't been active. I start posting. This is why we always say you never know who's watching. All right. So I just start posting. I'm going hard, posting every day, right? Just speaking, just getting content out. And that led to a particular person that started following me. I don't know how, to be honest. This person doesn't even have a profile picture. It just had their name. Then I'm going to explain who that person is in a second. Then that also led to a different person who, when we were heavy on Clubhouse back then, that person contacted me, or her team contacted me to book me to come speak in their room in Clubhouse, right? So I went and spoke. It was a small audience, like 100 people, right? And didn't think anything of it. Then 2 months later, out of nowhere, I get a text message to my community number, right? Not even my personal number, not my email, no nothing. My community number, which is typically for my, my audience. I get a text message and it's like, Brother Hendricks, this is the international president of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity. Very impressed in what you're doing. And I'd like to speak to you further, to invite you to be a keynote speaker at our national conclave, which is upcoming. I was like, what? I was like, why would the international president of Phi Beta Sigma, be hitting me up in community, right? I didn't even believe it. But then that led into, me and him speaking. And then I found out that first person that I mentioned that didn't even have a profile picture is his sister. So his sister somehow found me and then was so impressed by me that she keeps talking about me, and he kept hearing about this guy. Then she saw that I was a Sigma, so she was telling him. The other person who booked me, completely unrelated, who booked me to be in to speak in Clubhouse, happens to be the president's aunt. Right? So there was like 4 different cases of people in his family that didn't know that the other people found me. And they all somehow found me, and they were all talking about me. And that led to Brother Crystal, the international president. Well, during conclave, we elected a new one, but that led to him finding me, which led to me speaking at this event, right? Which also led to, listen, I tell everybody that the power of networking is immeasurable, right? I was able to take 2 businesses to 7 figures without running one ad, without being on social media, nothing. All because I was networking in person before 2020, before COVID and whatnot. I was going to business event. I go to a business event. What do? I'm not just sitting back. Some people go to a business event, you're going to sit back and just gain information. Okay, that can work too. But what's more powerful, you gain that information and you interact with people. You out there talking with people, meeting with people. Every business event that I would go to, I would leave with like some sort of new partnership that 10x my businesses, right? Now, so that's the preamble, but going into this specific event, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. I had a blast. It was such a great conversation. We did it more interview style, and it led to some connections that I was going to, listen, I'm so excited. I don't even know how to explain those connections, to be honest, because some of them is, 9-figure and up connections that is about to come into our universe. I say that because, proximity, people who, my family, like you and others, if I'm going to level up on something else, we all leveling up in some way, you know what I'm saying? So it's been amazing. But let me tell you one last thing. I mean, there's so much, but this is another thing that caused me to kind of disappear a little bit for the last few weeks. I didn't even tell you this one, as a matter of fact. Probably in a month from now, I have a new book that's coming out. And that book is co-authored between me Les Brown, Johnny Wimbury, and Heather Monahan. So Johnny Wimbury is one of Les Brown's students, one of his most successful students, another motivational speaker. Heather Monahan's another one. So celebrity authors and me and some other authors. All right. So I got to do my chapter in it. I got selected for it after some rigorous interviews back and forth, talking about my message, talking about what I'm doing, all of that. So here's the thing. I tell people, you may have heard the saying, success is when opportunity meets preparation, right? I say success is when opportunity meets preparation and speed. When this conversation happened about the opportunity, the people said, okay, I think, we went through the interviews and stuff. And they were like, we really like your message. I think you'd be great for that co-authoring project with Les Brown and Johnny Wimbury for 2022. And then they said, it's a shame that we just met you now because you would have been perfect for the current book that they're about to release. I was like, well, how can I get on that book? And they were like, well, it'd take a miracle because it's happening real soon. I was like, well, define a miracle for me. You know what I'm saying? And they told me what I had to do. It was like, you got like 3 days to write your part of this book. You have to have your headshot. You have to have a couple of other quick things. I was like, okay, I got all of that. And you telling me I got 3 days? No problem. I'll do it in 2. Right. So I literally I put everything aside, all my companies. I was like, listen, y'all run it. Y'all good. Managers is in place. Right. So I had the opportunity because I put myself in the rooms. I had the preparation because I pour so much knowledge into myself always. I'm always seeking new information that I'm able to write at a moment's notice on any topic, right? And then speed because, I could have just been like, nah, I got a busy week. I got this to do. I got, you know what I'm saying? But it was like, nope, I'm gonna make it happen. Because why wait till 2022? Yeah. Tomorrow's not promised, right? So I was like, let's go. Let's make it happen. I got it through. The editors are going through everything right now, and then it's going to be published by next week. So I'll be officially a published author. So I'm really excited about that, bro.
When you talk about, I think we spoke about this a few times, sparring partners. That's what it's about, bro. So that's motivating and inspiring, not only to the listeners, but, people like myself and people that's in the inner circle that can see that. It's inspiring to keep going and keep pushing and just to keep moving with speed. You know how like we used to say, go hard or go home? Nah, move with speed or don't do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the new phrase, you got to move with speed. That's the new go big or go home. So man, congratulations, bro.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it, man. And listen, I could talk for hours on some of the other things that's happened. I won't even go into all of it. We'll save it for another episode because, bruh, it's been insane. And it's not all bad. It's not all good. It's not all bad. It's just a variety of things. Because I also got sick, like I said, and that shut me down. As a matter of fact, I got sick the day after I submitted my chapter for the book. I don't know if that was what caused it or so, like.
I know, like your brain was rolling. It was like, man, you gotta sit down.
I was just going because I was like in the middle of the night. I was just, doing a little bit of research here and there, how to frame things and whatnot. And then I think I just wore my body out a little bit. So, yeah.
Could you give us, I know the book's not out. Could you give us a snippet of what your part of the book is about?
So the overall book is called The Power of Mental Wealth. My book or my chapter is called Your Outlook Determines Your Outcome. Right? So not only do I go into mental wealth and the other forms of wealth and compared it, right? So we got financial wealth, that's money. We got time wealth, that's freedom. We got physical wealth, that's health. We got social wealth, that's status. Now you can argue that there's a couple of others. Some people say you also want to say like spiritual wealth, of course, right? But I tell people that status is something that's very much overlooked, right? Now, you may think status as like, oh, you're just trying to be like, like your head blown up or something. No, think about it like this. That show that Grant Cardone was in last year, Undercover Billionaire. They dropped him in some remote town, shaved off his head, gave him $100 and said, you have nothing else. No contacts, no money, no credit, no nothing. And you have to create a business, and a 7-figure business in 90 days, right? And he was like, screw that. Give me 60. He challenged himself even more, right? What's the first thing that Grant said or did when, they set him free to go do this? He was like, all right, let me find who are the movers and shakers in this town. Why did he do that? Because he knows the power of status. He knows the power of proximity. You get around the right people, opportunities will come to you. This is when we talk about, surround yourself with the right people, because opportunities have not stopped coming to me, bro, all year. Just random, like what happened with the speaking at Conclave for Phi Beta Sigma fraternity, right? What happened, like how the book thing came up, because I last minute decided to go to a specific event and then ended up meeting Les Brown, and then ended up having a conversation, and then ended up going through the interview, and then ended up getting selected, right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, opportunities just keep coming because I'm surrounded by the right people. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And that's also led me to decide that I'm going to, write a full book pretty much in the next 6 months too.
There we go. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that, man? Mr. Beez, the author in the building, published author. We know that thing gonna be a top seller, New York Times bestseller.
You heard?
Author. You know what I mean? Let's go. So that leads us to our segment, Entrepreneur Highlight. And it's funny because it's about same thing, bro. Being in proximity, relationships, networking. So we're gonna go through our Entrepreneur Highlight, man. I'm gonna say a couple words about this gentleman here. This guy name is Jefe the jeweler, and I met Jefe the jeweler through my exotic rental-car company. Some clients came into town and said that they were going to meet him. Actually, nope, that's not what happened. Let me back up. I actually bought a car from him. So he had his car at one of my brokers' place that do like wraps and stuff like that. And they called me and said, hey, we got a guy up here that wants to sell his I-8. And I was like, oh, I-8, I need some I-8s. So I pull up to the shop and he has this yellow and black, just got done wrapped, 22s on it, I-8. And right now I-8s are hot. They're hard to get because of the market, right? And he gave me a crazy deal on it. And I was like, man, what do you do? He's like, yeah, I'm a jeweler. I'm like, oh, okay. I ain't never met a black jeweler. That's pretty interesting. So what happened was I bought his car and we went out to dinner and he told me a story, and his story more powerful than what he actually does. During COVID, he had a boss and he said that God told him to become a jeweler. He wasn't a jeweler before that. He really didn't have any interest in being a jeweler. He literally said God one day told him, hey, you're going to be a jeweler. And he pursued it. And what he told me about this industry is it's very hard for African Americans to break into the jewelry industry. It's very, very hard, very difficult. There's a lot of other races in the jewelry industry, as we know, but there's not a lot of black people we buy most of the jewelry, but we're not the ones that can facilitate it. So I want to highlight him. He's Jefe the Black Jeweler on Instagram.
So just so y'all know, that's Jefe, like Spanish Jefe. So that's with a J. So JEFE underscore THE the underscore jeweler JEWELER.
Yep. So Jefe will give his shout out now, and you can learn a little bit about Jefe.
There we go.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Jefe the Jeweler. I'm a black jeweler based out of Las Vegas. I provide a different experience when it comes to buying jewelry. I make sure my customers understand everything like I understand it, so you can buy with confidence. Remember, you have to turn this liability into an asset, because if you buy the right way, jewelry can be an asset. Remember that. It's different type of diamonds, literally, when it comes to this as well. You can't just go to a jeweler and say you want VVS, because that's how they know you're not knowledgeable when it comes to jewelry. You have to really go into depth. So you have to say it's moissanite VVS. You have natural VVS. You have CVD VVS. So it is a lot of different diamond types and a lot of different golds and silvers and things of that nature that you can actually buy. So here at Jefe Jewelers, we just literally provide a different type of experience so you can understand everything and buy with confidence.
Damn, man, that's awesome, yo. That's awesome. That was powerful. Like, I'm happy to hear that we have a black jeweler, right? So, you already know that this is time to support. To be honest, I'm never that big on jewelry. I wear like this, like you see, I got this little thing right here. It ain't even, nothing major, but that's because it's the fraternity or whatever. I wear beads and stuff. But knowing that we have someone like us, in our community that's also tapped into there, I'm gonna support that. I'm gonna get something just to get something now. But I love it, man.
And you know what the best part about it is? He educates people on what they're purchasing. So I was blown away when he educated me. Literally in 5 minutes, he broke down the whole jewelry industry, how people are able to be taken advantage of by what they come requesting, from natural diamonds to different types of styles of diamonds, from the colors of diamonds, from the gold and and how people do things. And I'm gonna be honest, man, it was very eye opening, because a lot of our people that we know out here, man, are being taken advantage of when it comes to jewelry, because we just don't know. Yeah. And the jewelers that we go to, that think we have our best interest in mind, and that we think we're getting a deal from, are really actually taking advantage of us. Yeah. So definitely check out Jefe the jeweler, Jefe _the_jeweler on Instagram. He's a good guy. His story is dope. Tap in with him. Let him know Van sent you, Beez sent you. And he gonna take care of you. He gonna take care of you regardless, but he definitely gonna take care of you because you came from us. So yeah, man. What else has kept you away, man? I thought you didn't like me no more, bro. I was like, man, Beez, what I do to Beez, man?
It's always pushing the needle forward, man. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, I tell people people say I'm a teacher, I'm a guru, whatever. I'm like, nah, I'm a student. Right? I'm always learning something new. And I think that's why people would rock with me, rock with you, rock with our crew, because we always striving for new things for ourselves first. And then as we figure those things out, then we're willing to teach others about it. Right. So that's really all I've been, man. I've been grinding. Another thing is stepping out of your comfort zone. I could have gotten real comfortable in my current circles right now, because this is the best time of my life right now with the people that I know, the people that I've met over the last year. But you can't get stagnant just because you do things are looking good right now. You still got to say, okay, well, what else, right? You still got to look, and it's not about not being grateful or nothing like that, right? It's just about not being complacent, right? If you want to push the needle forward, if you want to keep learning, and you have a strong circle, and y'all are all learning together, still go out of the circle to learn something new that you could then bring back into the circle too. You know what I'm saying? So that's been another thing for me. It's just that I've been, getting into some other circles. Like I told you, I'm meeting some 9-figure earners and whatnot, that now I get to bring that back to our circle, and we all level up even more. So yeah, that's main stuff, without me getting into some of the other specifics, man, because there's quite a few others.
Nah, I get it. One of the things that I wanted to touch on really quick is just, being okay with making adjustments and being okay with pivoting when you're doing certain things, and you might be going a certain direction. If opportunities come your way, or something that comes your way that you feel like could take you to the next level, and it might not be something that you started the year with knowing that, hey, I want to do this certain thing, pivot, man, because opportunities come to you, but you got to be ready to experience those opportunities. When I made my goals for 2021 in January, I did not tell myself that I was going to start an exotic luxury sport rental car company.
You're welcome, bro.
Right?
The inspiring.
Yeah. I definitely didn't tell myself I was going to do that. Also, too, I didn't tell myself I was going to build a 10,000 square foot content studio for people to come do productions, shoot videos, do podcasts, do photography. Didn't tell myself I was going to do that, but now I have that. We locked in a 10,000 square foot warehouse for the next 7 years. I didn't tell myself I was going to start a podcast with my man Beez. That wasn't on the plate for 2021. So that's 3 different things that I've done that I'm excited about, that I'm proud of, that is a legacy for myself, my family. We're putting people on, we're paying people salaries, we're giving people opportunities for jobs, and then we're inspiring people. You know how many people hit us up, bro, in the last 3 weeks saying, hey, I've been inspired by the podcast, when is the next episode dropping, or just letting us know. I mean, we don't have a lot of, 1 million followers on our podcast page. We don't have 1 million subscribers. Yeah. But when those 1, 2, 3, 4 people are reaching out saying, hey, you really helped me and inspired me, bro, that's what it's about.
Yeah. That's impact over everything. Yeah, man. Listen, we could go on and on, bro, but I don't want to, overload the people today in this episode.
Yeah, I think we gave them a dose.
We're going to continue it on. We're going to make it happen again. We are back on track. Hey, maybe we do one from our Hive experience, do an episode from there. I don't know.
We definitely, we got something for y'all, man. We got some sauce for y'all. We got some things coming down some live podcasts coming up in the next few weeks, in the next month. We got something really big coming in September for you guys that I think you guys are going to all love, that Beez and myself have in store for September, for a live podcast with a special guest that's leading the way in the industry. I ain't going to give you the name yet, but that's leading the way in the podcast industry for our community. So yeah, man, we got something for y'all.
Yes, sir. Always pushing that needle forward, man. We gonna make things roll, yo. So listen, thank you everybody for missing us. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for listening to this episode again. And listen, all I can say is stay tuned, because so much more is coming, and we appreciate you. Let's go.